Yeah. Bala hapa, kama kawa, kama kalenda. Boosted Auto Talks, Formula 1 Talks, we are here. Tupo site, leo tupo site, kata sim, lakini hapana kata sim. Watch video hapa. Bala is my name, and today I'm delighted to have with me my friend Jay. As usual, on Formula 1 Talks. It's not the first time he's joining us today. He's been here with us from time to time.
Yes.
And he's back. We've been on a short recess, and now we are back. So quickly, today we are going to talk about Formula 1 in
Silverstone.
Silverstone, yes. They just recently concluded Formula 1 on Silverstone grounds. With me here, Jay is going to take us through, and I appreciate you a lot for joining us. Before we kick off, I would like to mention that this weekend we are having a rally cross happening in Machakos. This is something that is happening for the first time in the country, and in Kaltundo's words, I'll quote him, WRC is over, but the dust hasn't settled yet. We are headed to Machakos to experience yet another rally and motorsport event like the one that we experienced in Naivasha, but this time round it is what we call rally cross. Rally cross is whereby teams are competing on the ground, and you have one joker lap that each and every competitor has to take. So this is something that we've been seeing on TVs, and for the first time it is happening on our soil here, on our land in Machakos. As usual, Boosted Auto is going to be there, and we're doing what we do best. Of course, we have Lugin on board, and he'll be drifting, and going to enjoy. So, to begin,
Yes.
my friend Jay, you introduce yourself yet again.
Yeah, second time I'm here at Boosted Talks.
Yes.
It's amazing the work you guys do, both on and off the ground. Actually, to add on a point you didn't mention about the rallycross, it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid event. It's a mixture of both tarmac and dirt racing at the same time.
Yes, sure. True.
But it's going to be an amazing event. Hope to see some of you there. Vincent and I will be on the ground.
Yes.
And I think he's going to put something together for you guys.
Yes, definitely. Most definitely going to come up with something for the fans.
Yeah.
We must talk to the drivers who will be there, who will be willing to talk to us. And to sum it up, we shall make a video of the rallycross in Machakos.
Yes.
Back to Formula 1.
All in all, we had a great weekend at Silverstone.
Yes.
For all the Red Bull fans.
Yes.
A bit of a painful one for everybody else,
Yes.
but actually Guan Yu Zhou had a pretty bad shunt.
Yes.
But all in all, it was a very good event. It was one of the best races we've had this year.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we have these kinds of racing now. We can see these kinds of close racing. We can see the drivers going elbows out and the pushing and the vehicles. It's amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
Just so you know, the last time Jay was here, he gave us his preference that he thought at the end of the season somebody was going to lift the championship.
Yeah.
Are you still standing with your word, or have you changed your mind?
Actually, with the current events and the events are going, we can win this thing in Austin. I'm just knock on wood, it doesn't go bad, but we can win this thing in Austin with the mathematical probability. We as Red Bull Racing.
Okay.
Oracle Red Bull Racing.
Oracle Red Bull Racing, you're going to lift this thing.
Yes, for
the second time.
For the second time, both the Drivers' World Championship and Constructors' Championship.
Is there a specific driver in Red Bull you're rooting for, or just all the drivers
currently
are capable of lifting the championship?
I feel like the way I understand the sport and the way Red Bull strategies are geared towards Max Verstappen winning the Drivers' World Championship.
Yes.
But with Checo being as solid as he is, we're looking at a proper team effort in making sure the team stays there at the World Constructors and supports all the efforts we are doing to make Max a second-time world champion.
That is him, in his words. He still believes they're going to lift the championship. Max without external aid. This time round without external aid. Well,
back to Silverstone.
Yeah, Silverstone practice, quali, and race. No, practice, quali.
Yeah. With Silverstone, you see most of the it's home ground for most of the teams actually, except a few, maybe the Haas and one another, I think Ferrari, because Ferrari is Italian. But for most of the teams, i.e. Red Bull, we have our base site is 30 minutes away from Silverstone. Brixworth is near Silverstone. Heck, Aston Martin are called the Silverstone team because their premises is literally on ground in Silverstone. It's home advantage for many of the drivers and many of the teams. Yes, towards the track. It's a historic track. It's quite a fast track. And over the years, it has brought us drama in racing, controversy in racing, i.e. last year with Hamilton taking Max out at Cops Corner. But it's an amazing track. And for FP1, FP2 to FP3, we didn't see much of the vehicles. We saw the Williams of Alex Albon trying to be a bit different with all the upgrade packages they brought. We saw the Ferraris porpoising a lot more than the Mercedes. It seems that Mercedes have sorted the porpoising out to a level. We saw some raw speeds with the Alpine. It was all promising till FP3, and then now came the Lord of the Rain. That caused some drama and some pretty mixing up of the field, which shows you how strong the British drivers are in the wet, like George Russell putting on a stonking lap on the race. But also we saw the prowess of Max on the wet. So it's a good thing to see the British summer, whereby rain is unpredictable, sun is unpredictable, and the track temps, so that highly affects the tires and warming up and strategies. It brings in a whole mix of events into one big bowl of an incredible race.
I didn't happen to watch practice 1 and practice 2. I only watched practice 3, which was in wets. For one or two reasons I was not available for practice 1 and 2. So I didn't pick up so much, but I was delighted to see. Okay, myself, I'm a fan of rain. Because during wet it is unpredictable. You wouldn't tell who's going to take the fastest lap, who's going to, it is a mixture of skill and luck at the same time.
I don't see luck.
I wouldn't. It is luck. I would say that. Because when it is wet, sometimes the track is drying up. It depends on
who calls the calls fast.
Yes.
Who calls the tires fast.
So you see, that is luck. It is not only skill. To some extent it has luck. Well, race day. Sunny Sunday.
The British summer.
The British summer. It was so sunny. And yes, we saw a race. So what would you say? We had a red flag in the very first, first lap. Okay, turn 1. I'll say turn 1, just like the other. Was it last season? That turn 1 is so much historic.
When coming down to Cops, first turn, second turn.
So we saw a red flag that was brought about because so many drivers were involved in an accident that eventually Zhou Guanyu was flipped and he brought a red flag. What did you pick from the accident and all that, and maybe if you have anything about the safety of the drivers?
First of all, the people who watch or the people who are new to Formula One need to understand that the first turn 1 at Silverstone, it's a very high speed turn 1. And you carry a lot of speed through the turn. So if you get kind of a poor start when you're getting off the line, you get past pretty quickly. Unlike other tracks whereby turn 1 doesn't affect people that much, but in Silverstone it carries a lot of difference.
Why? Before you go into explanation, why is it that in Silverstone it carries a lot of speed?
Because it's more of a sweeping turn more than a sharp turn.
So it is a high-speed turn.
So yes, you have driven on the track before. In sweeping turns, you don't go on the brake. You just power the vehicle through the turn. So with Formula One vehicles being literally on rails, you just power the vehicle through. Just remember these people coming from a standing start. People who have reactions of 700ths of a second off the clutch for these vehicles. It's a momentary instinct to leap somebody in front. In terms of the incident involving Guan Yu Zhou, Alex Albon, and 4 other drivers, 2 other drivers,
George Russell
and the rest. From the videos I saw from the race, and both during the race and post-race, there was a gap in between Russell and Guan Yu Zhou. and then Gasly went into the gap, and then he decided to back off. While Gasly was backing off, Russell had kind of moved to the left a bit, and then his rear wheel got Joe's front wheel, and then Joe just flipped. But you need to see the center of gravity of these cars are pretty low, so flipping them it's quite difficult. And that led Joe skidding on his halo all the way to the catch fencing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his car I think tried to correct itself once or twice, and then it landed in the catch fencing, between the catch fencing and the tire wall barrier. And then it trapped Joe inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Safety.
Yeah, safety in Formula One has grown a lot. For the new viewers in Formula One, they don't know this, but as soon as a couple of years ago, when the halo was being introduced, most of the team principals were objecting the use of the halo.
Yeah.
That it will destroy racing, it will destroy the look of the vehicle, and I am glad it didn't, because so far we have seen several incidents. The most memorable one was Grosjean last year at Sahia Grand Prix, where his car caught fire.
A man who walked from the fire.
Yeah, the man who walked from the fire. Yeah, because his car went through the barriers.
Yes.
But his head was safe because the halo protected him.
Yeah.
In the event of Guan Yu Zhou, his car was flipped, and people tend to only notice the halo as a safety measure. Yeah. But in the Formula One car, you have several aspects of the vehicle that protect the driver. Some people don't know this, but the the part that is attached to the front wing, it's called the front nose crash. Every team has its own name, but the front part, past the steering components, all of that is designed to crumple in the event of an accident. So the entire, like, almost half a meter thing crumples into something this big.
Yeah.
So all this absorbs the energy to slow the driver down. We have rips, which also happens to collect all the energy from hitting the car in the rear. This is what happened with Albon. When I think it is Bottas who went behind Albon, I'm not sure.
Yes.
It was Bottas, yeah? And then it hit Albon, and Albon went into a spin. All the energy from the vehicle that Bottas hit him with, the ribs collapsed into itself. This is what we saw that broke off at Mick Schumacher's previous race, where the gearbox detached from the vehicle. These components are designed like that to break, so that they can disperse.
To detach from the main body, which is carrying the driver.
Yes, and it's designed to break in several options. The rear part is designed to break off at the studs, which is holding the gearbox, so that dissipates a lot of the energy that carries with the vehicle being hit. The nose cone, as I explained earlier, we have the fuel tank, which exploded during Grosjean's accident. That's where the FIA reviewed and made all the chassis break off at the gearbox, so that the survival cell and the fuel tank go as one, rather than going into different parts. In Guan Yu Zhou's example, we had the roll hoop. People don't normally know about the roll hoop.
Exactly. I was actually watching that video. Then later on, I looked at the pictures. You could literally see
the vehicle being balanced.
The vehicle, just scratching on the road, but you can see the driver is the head. He's upside down and he is suspended. The halo is holding the vehicle from the front. Then at the back, where you see that intake, I don't know what you call it.
It's okay. Every team has its own name, but it's an intake box, an air box, a ram box. But where normally there's the camera, the onboard camera,
and the light.
Yes.
So there is something else, I don't know, like the way we'll have a convertible car.
Yes, it's
just going round. Okay, all that thing carried the energy of the vehicle, carried the weight of the vehicle, plus the halo. Then the driver is suspended in between. Otherwise, if it were not because of that aspect, I think it's called something hoop.
You see, you need to understand, for the viewers who are watching and don't know this a lot, when you look at old vehicles, old convertible vehicles, for example, an Audi TT or a BMW Z4, they have some sort of a metal U frame just above the passenger's seat. This is there to protect you in case of a rollover. So it's slightly higher than your head. So it protects your head from hitting the ground. So in Guan Yu Zhou's case, the halo and the roll hoop both worked together. Roll hoop. It's a roll hoop. They both worked together to make the driver skid. It made Joe skid through the tarmac, through the gravel.
Without his helmet
touching the tarmac.
Without the helmet, because it is being suspended. on the, you said it's called something hoop?
Roll hoop.
The roll hoop and the halo.
And the halo.
Both of them are touching the ground. And the driver is actually suspended. He's upside down, but his helmet or his head is actually just suspended below,
Even if
above the tarmac.
Even if you remember last year when Max Verstappen drove on top of Hamilton,
Yes.
the tire was on Hamilton's head,
Yeah.
but the entire vehicle was suspended by the halo.
Yeah.
They say the halo can support the weight of 2 African elephants. So if you can imagine the weight of an African elephant, two of them,
yeah.
it's a lot of weight.
Yeah,
The thing
I was seeing
has
some
proper
video they're
structure.
saying it is 2 times the weight of a bus.
Yeah,
Can
more
be
or less.
suspended on that.
Yeah, you think
A
of an
normal
elephant
bus.
or a bus, whichever
Yeah.
you think of weighing it through.
Yeah.
But the other safety components,
Yeah.
for example, the survival cell,
Yeah.
there's the driver padding.
Yeah.
There was an accident when back into 2020 in Spa, whereby some kid in Formula 2 broke both of his legs.
Yeah.
But from that time, they invented an M shape where the legs go all the way to your ankles,
Yeah.
so to protect you in the event of a nation. We can do a whole episode on safety.
Sure.
But that's all.
That's what you picked from the car, and according to you, the safety is
The safety, we still keep on learning
Yeah.
because there are new problems
Yeah.
and everything, but we are way far from when I started watching Formula 1 back.
Yeah.
This is back in 2003, 2004. We are
So
way
what we'll say is,
off the safety.
yes, the safety is in place, but we have to get such accidents for us to go back.
Yes.
Okay, for Formula, if I had to go back to drawing board and see
Formula 1.
where should we improve in case such a thing happens.
Yes.
Like in his case, Guanujo case, it is a very rare case. It's, I think it's the first car I've seen. It is upside down. It has been flipped upside down and moving forward at a very
The other
fast
accident
speeds.
was before the Halo, and it was a Williams. It flipped like 3 or 4 times. I can't remember who was driving the Williams, but it flipped.
Yeah.
But other than that, this is the second case in a lot of years, in like 5-6 years.
Yeah. And I'm sure from this, a lot is going to be picked and
Yes.
a lot is going to be improved.
Yes.
After the incident, it took us a lot of time, close to 20 minutes before we could get a footage of the accident. Is it normal, or why did you take that long before we could see? Actually, we could just hear there has been an accident. If you didn't see it, you could hear there has been an accident. If you saw it, then whatever you saw is what you remained with for quite some time before we could see some footage coming from the replay. Why that long?
Okay, these are several factors.
Yeah.
It's not a one answer factor.
Yeah.
Number one is the main concern about the team, about Liberty Media, about Formula One, all these big entities associated with Formula One. Their main concern is the safety of the driver.
Yeah.
So their number one thing is not show you the replay until we assess and make sure that the driver is okay and is not injured and is not hurt. The second thing, this came about from Grosjean's accident.
Yeah.
The coverage people got about Grosjean stepping out of fire, as much as many of us didn't see much about it, his family, his immediate loved ones were critically affected by this image of their loved one coming out of a fire.
Yeah.
So
because they are somewhere watching also.
Yes,
just like us.
the same
Some
as
of
us.
them are somewhere watching.
Yes.
Not all of them are on
the track.
The track with him.
And due to respecting other people's privacy and trying to make sure people do not overreact to a situation which is not actually there, and basically being a decent human being, we do not suggest we see that. Also, in the event if the accident was either fatal or really bad, we do not want to promote the viewership of gore images and bloody images on video. Actually, I think it also happens in football where if somebody tackles you in a wrong manner and they break your leg or something, they don't show that.
They don't show.
Yeah, but this is basically in the interest of safety and privacy for the driver.
So all that
and general public.
all that long, I think what you're saying is they were trying to
the medical guys were on scene, and the police were on scene, and the helicopters on standby as they assess the situation and how Joe was doing. Remember, these people drive with heart rate monitors and oxygen sensors in their gloves, so the team can see. They have G sensors in their ears, so the team can assess how hard this guy hit the wall. For example, when Max went into the wall at Cops, he went at 51 G.
Yeah.
Those information help the doctors determine how bad this injury can be.
To evaluate
the situation. Yes. But in this scenario, and I support it completely, we don't want to be shown a driver who's fatally injured.
Sure.
Or make the
so we have to be, communication has to be there between the team and the doctors.
Yeah.
Then we get a full report that he's okay. Then we can see the replay.
You saw a few laps later, Guangzhou with Stefano Domenicali discussing the incident, and all was okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, immediately after the incident, we saw George Russell stopping the car, then rushing towards the incident just to check. Well, later on, this is what we had, to check if Joe was okay. Well, it makes a lot of sense because actually he went there and he tried to find out whether he's okay, whether he needs more help, whether he can help or not.
Yeah.
Then he came back to the car and wanted to drive it to the pits. Like any other driver, he was arguing. He was in a lot of argument all through the red flags. He was in a lot of argument and explanations why he should be allowed to go to the pit and race again. So, is it a sportsmanship versus a spirit of wanting to help, or is it rules are rules? What do you think?
I think, in my own personal opinion, Russell suffered the Good Samaritan curse.
Yeah.
Because you see, Russell stopped his vehicle to go check on Guan Yu.
Yeah.
Despite because he caused the accident,
Yes.
because he's the one who made Joe go flipping.
Yes, sure.
Or secondly, we even saw it with Russell when he made the crash with Bottas sometime back last year, but when, if I'm not sure. And he went to check. He's the kind of guy who goes to check on other drivers, his fellow drivers. Yeah. But here comes another rule. A rule in Formula 1 states that if your vehicle, whether damaged, because we saw the likes of, later in the race, we saw Perez, we saw, actually in the red flag, we saw
in the red flag, we also saw Bottas
limping their vehicles to the pits.
Yes.
So even in rally, in other forms of motorsports, you are allowed to limp your vehicle to service without getting external assistance. The moment you get external assistance, you get disqualified. Now here is the tricky part. These Formula 1 vehicles do not have cooling fans, like the way our normal road cars have cooling fans. These vehicles are cooled by the air that is passing.
The turbulence.
The air they go through.
Yes.
When this car stopped, these vehicles have a feature called anti-stall, which disengages the clutch so that the vehicle just keeps on revving itself so that it doesn't stall. Because starting this vehicle is a procedure. It's not like a turn key or
starting a plane.
Exactly. It's not a turn key or button push kind of procedure.
Yes.
So the stewards, they deemed it according to the rules they have. If the vehicle is taken back to the pits under
flatbed.
On a transport or a flatbed, then the vehicle cannot rejoin the race.
No, you see, well, from what I understood, George Russell's argument was, when he came, he was stopped from entering the car. The car was still where he left it, same position, same point where he left the car. He wanted to enter the car, probably to engage the diff lock, because one of his tire was completely out.
Yeah.
So he wanted to limp the car on 3 tires. He just engaged the diff, just like said Bottas.
Bottas, yes.
There were 2 other drivers who limped in the pit without 1 tire. So in this situation, from the way I was hearing the commentator analyzing, see, the commentators are former Formula 1 drivers.
Yes.
He had been barred from entering the car. So there is no way he would have gotten the car to the pits. So he was just trying to explain to them, you see, I would have brought my car from the area that I had left it before, but I was barred from getting into the car. That is why the car has been brought here on a flatbed.
Labala, one thing.
Yeah.
When, for example, with a plane.
Yeah.
When the plane is in the air,
yes,
the person in charge of the plane is the captain.
Yes.
When the plane gets near the airport,
yes,
the person in charge is air traffic control.
Yes.
When the plane gets to the ground,
yes,
it's ground control.
Yes.
When at the racetrack,
yes,
at some point, the power of decision goes back to the marshals.
Yes.
The key point is the marshals were trying to clear the track.
Yes.
The vehicle, George had abandoned his vehicle on the track. There were still vehicles circling the track which were going back into the pits. For example, like Tsunoda, I think it was Yuki Tsunoda was limping his Alpha Tauri all the way back.
Yes.
We need to clear that. As long as that vehicle is there, whether it's running or not, it's a track hazard. You need that vehicle off the track.
Yes. But this is a safety, I mean, it is under a red flag.
Yes, it's under a red flag,
yes,
but
There is no any other car on the track.
For example,
it's only your car that is there and it is running. All the other cars have already entered the pits.
I can remind you of an accident which was actually really fatal during a safety car. The godfather to, well, technically not the racing godfather to Charles Leclerc, Jules actually went into the back of a tractor that was carrying a vehicle during a safety car.
Yes.
So you see the point here, the marshals are, this vehicle, as long as it's here, it is a track hazard, not only to the vehicles, the racing cars, the Formula 1 vehicles, but to the medical car, to the support vehicles.
Talking of that,
any car can hit
talking
that
of
car.
that incident, I've just remembered, here at Silverstone, I think was it during practice 2, we saw a safety car, 2 tires in the air. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, it went
2 tires in the air. It almost flipped.
Yeah.
It almost lost control. So like
that's
saying,
track hazard does not only stop cause of the Formula 1 vehicles. There are people on track. The vehicle will still be there if the transporter came and swung by the
debris.
Exactly. There's a lot of, and these are very expensive machinery.
Yes.
So you cannot risk it. So the marshal's decision was to clear the track hazard. Okay. And whether the vehicle was running or not, it is a track hazard.
Well
by the time George came back to his vehicle, the marshals had already decided, and the transporter was there, and they had already clamped the vehicle, put it on.
They have already decided this is a hazard.
This is a track hazard, and we need to clear the hazard, regardless of whether the vehicle is running or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think there is also another rule. You cannot get out of the car and get back into the car on the track. Whether the marshals are there or not, I believe you cannot get out of the car and get back into the car because there is a procedure. See, there is a procedure of getting into the car, I believe.
Yes.
You get into the car, you're given the steering, you are given
the harnesses. Someone has to harness you.
So they have to make sure that you are well harnessed. And your team is not here to harness you. You see, you got out of the car, there is that other thing that they put.
Yes. It's a part of the safety.
It's part of the safety.
Yes.
So you want to get into the car, nobody's going to give you a steering because you left the steering in the car. Nobody's going to harness you, and you want to drive off into the track. I believe maybe also that contributes.
The marshals decided this is a track hazard, and they left it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, back to your team. You've talked too much about other teams.
Yes.
You've not talked about your team. We saw Max really struggling on the track a lot. I don't know, was it just a bad day for him or is it the car?
It's also the Ferrari struggle, but why are you talking about?
Maybe we shall come to that. I'll talk about all the cars.
Okay, you can look at this from a technical point of view because this was a technical problem.
Yes.
And despite all the rumors people are having on social media and everything, it was not a power unit problem. You can even hear from the radio as the race engineer tells Max it's a body damage.
Yes.
And the body damage isn't as critical to retire the vehicle.
Yeah. Where did he damage this car?
Now, a few laps prior, Yuki and Gasly took each other out.
Yes.
Both of them went off the track, and there was some debris off the track. So after Carlos Sainz lost his composure as always, and went off the track, Max took the leading position of the race. He was leading the race. At some point, Max went wide in the same corner that Yuki and Gasly took each other out. At that corner, Max picked up debris, which damaged, because you see, Red Bull, we do run 2 diffusers. And I believe from the technical analysis I've seen, it took out one of the diffusers. And initially, Max thought he had a puncture, because he could hear or basically feel the vehicle not being as stable through the corners as it was. That's why you saw him being easily passed by Sainz. But by the time he got back to the pits for a tire change, the engineers noticed that there was no puncture. The vehicle was just body damage because there's the rear jackman who could have seen it. So reporting it back to the race engineer, he instructed, even you can hear Max being instructed over the radio that, hey, this is a body damage, and it's not that critical so that you have to retire the car. You can nurse the car through the entirety of the race. This is to show you how sensitive these vehicles are to aero. The engineer said we have a reduction of 20% of rear downforce. 20%. It might not sound much to the normal person, but 20% out of 100, that's a lot you lose, considering that you get proper mechanical grip from the rear wheels. And if you lose a huge amount of the weight of which is supported by delivered by the downforce, this vehicle is going to either properly understeer or slide a lot through the corners. And knowing the way Max drives, he does not like that rear end sliding at all. Yeah. So that's what happened. We just lost a bit of bodywork from the rear. And we suffered aerodynamic problems. Instability. Basically what Ferrari has been doing the entirety of the season.
Well, so you're saying it wasn't a bad day. It was just...
It wasn't a bad day because we had Checo in P2.
Yeah.
Considering Checo, the lord of defenses, was fighting up there with your greatness, Lewis Hamilton, and Sainz, the lord of miscomposure, and Charles, the baby who keeps crying.
Yeah.
No offense to Ferrari fans anyways, but he keeps crying a lot.
Yeah.
But you see, we as a team, the team dynamics we have as Red Bull Racing between our drivers, both Checo and Max, we work in such a dynamic that if one falls, we have somebody there to cover up the positions, and we still got up on top because we increased our lead in the World Constructors Championship, and with the lead between Max and Checo reduced, and we still got enough points, unlike retiring the vehicle, not getting points at all. Yeah.
You talked of Hamilton, the GOAT.
Nah, not good. Senna is a GOAT.
You talked of the GOAT himself, Sir Lewis Hamilton. We saw his back with a bang. I don't know, is it that Mercedes have figured out what their problem has been? Or do you think Mercedes gave it all, everything, all out because they are, at home ground?
You can, if you believe in superstitions, home ground advantage. Or if you believe again in superstitions, Hamilton has a tendency of outperforming himself during a season that is very poor. On the 10th round, this was the 10th round.
Wow.
But
you believe in superstitions?
Nah. He just got his stuff together.
Okay.
But basically, the Mercedes have been trying to improve the vehicle race over race over race. Maybe they have a recipe that works. We'll see. We'll see in Austria whether the recipe works or not. But basically, Matthias said Mercedes bring a basically new car every race. He actually is really worried whether the budget cap is still going to be in position with Mercedes. But
I have a feeling Mercedes know their track and know what works for them best on that track.
Yeah.
Because it is their home ground.
And because Lewis has been driving in Silverstone since he was a baby.
Yes. So I believe what we saw, that is me. I believe what we saw
was a one-time thing.
Mercedes might still struggle. TJ, Mash, and the rest. I think Mercedes is still struggling, and I believe we're still going to see them, struggling in the next.
Another point on Mercedes, they keep saying, oh, our PU is very strong, once we sort out our porpoising issues. Yeah. Ferraris are porpoising like crazy and they're still faster than them. What if Ferrari sorts out their porpoising issue and their reliability and their strategy? Because Ferrari, at this point...
Ferrari has young men. Ferrari has, young people.
Mercedes fans need to discuss
From what I heard from, I think there's someone who told me this and I bought it. Was it TJ or was it Mash? Or was it... no, it was... I think it was Mzungu.
Jason.
Jason told me this and I bought it. Jason told me, you see the purposing issue is affecting Hamilton so much on his back because he's a bit older. You see, Russell, his car is also doing the same, but he's not affected. Hamilton came to a point he could not even get out of his car. I think it was in Canada where.
Yeah.
It was in Canada. After the race, he could not. No, it wasn't Canada.
Sorry, Baku. It was Baku.
It was Baku.
Yeah, because of the long straights.
Yes, he could not get out of his car after the race. So whatever Jason told me, I think I still buy it. Ferrari might be purposing, but it has youngsters. They can actually absorb that. The disc on their back. They can actually absorb that pain all through, and they can still.
Labala here taking a jab at old drivers.
No, I'm not taking a jab at old drivers. I'm just saying what I was told. Well, quickly as we go to other teams,
yes.
Ferrari. We saw Ferrari give us something that no one else could ever thought that we were going to encounter such a race. Leaving the two drivers fight. And everybody was shocked that actually Carlos Sainz is being left to battle with Charles Leclerc on the track. Leclerc tried to ask them, I have pace, I want to overtake, give him team orders. But they told him, you are free to rest, you are free to rest. That's all we could hear. So, Is it that maybe Ferrari are also trying to show Charles that we've given you all that it takes, but you're not proving? We want to try.
No, I beg to differ with your opinion.
Yeah.
Because you see, Charles has been delivering in that car. The pole position after pole position during qualifying, he's been outperforming his vehicle. The issue with Ferrari is strategy and reliability.
Yes.
But in the event of this race, it was something to do with either, in my opinion, giving Sainz the courage Sainz needs to start performing in the team. Because Sainz is suffering from the Albon syndrome. Those who watched our previous video know what an Albon syndrome is. But it's either giving him courage to perform better in the vehicle, or show him that we trust you with the vehicle. Please push the machinery. We understand and we trust you. That's why they let them fight. They didn't swap the drivers. Or Mattia is running a different strategy from other teams.
Yeah.
Whereby he's trying to cultivate a team environment whereby we don't kind of have a number one driver. It's like either of you is good. Yeah. So, but we'll have to look at it carefully within the next races so that we can determine what exactly they're trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is something that is getting me confused as we wind up. I don't know if you can have a solution for it or an answer for me or an answer to our fans out there or people who don't know about these things.
Yeah.
Williams. Williams, they have... okay, don't laugh at Williams.
No, they're like the best team ever.
Oh, okay.
In terms of wins, statistically, they're better than Mercedes.
All right.
Yeah, RIP Mercedes fans.
Okay. Williams, they have Alex Albon on board. Williams is a Mercedes engine customer.
Yes.
Alex Albon is on board from Red Bull. Then they have Nicholas Latifi, who is a paid driver.
Yes.
Tell me about all this combination. I fail to understand, because if Alex Albon is a Red Bull reserve driver, Williams is a Mercedes customer team. Then they also have someone, Nicholas Latifi, who is a paid driver.
Yes.
All this is, do we have such combination in other teams? Or what is it?
When we start with paid drivers, Latifi is not the only paid driver on the squad.
Yeah.
We have Daddy Stroll.
What does paid driver mean to the fans who don't know what a paid driver is?
Paid drivers are drivers who actually come to bring money to the team when the team needs money, but in the exchange for the sponsorship and the money they bring on board for the team, they get a seat.
Hold on. In short, a paid driver is someone who buys the seat. I buy to drive your car.
Basically, you can.
That's basically what you can say. When you say he injects money into the team and sponsorship and all that.
That's what.
So this is someone who comes in with money and say, "I want to buy this seat."
Yes.
It's not about merit. It's not about my talent. I want to buy this seat.
No, that's a point of contention.
Yeah.
Many people have said paid drivers do not deserve to be there because they lack skill, and there are other drivers down the line who have more skill, but that's yibby yabba here and there.
Yeah.
We cannot actually prove that because you don't get the opportunity.
Yeah.
But if you look at Nikita Mazepin, he came through for Haas when Haas had the issue with Rich Energy, when they were lacking the funds for Rich Energy. The sponsorship with Ural Kali came with Mazepin.
Yes.
Actually, some of the people watching don't know this, but some time back when Racing Force India was suffering financial problems, Perez was a paid driver. Yes, he came with Carlos Slim. I'm forgetting the name of Carlos Slim's company. But it's not a new phenomenon being a paid driver. But the problem...
okay. I hope we're making sense. A paid driver is not... You're not being paid. It is you. Yes, the name is paid driver.
They do receive a salary.
Yes, they receive a salary. But it is you who's coming with the money. It is you who's coming with sponsorship.
Yes.
It is you with your father with big dollars who's coming to the...
Or mother.
Yes, or mother, or uncle, or a big company out there with you coming to Boosted racing team, telling Boosted, now, Mimi, I want to pay for this seat. I'll give you this amount of money, right?
Yes,
Okay,
basically.
continue.
For example, at Williams, when Latifi came as a paid driver, he came to help when the Williams family was still running the team, and Claire Williams was having trouble with completing the vehicle and everything. Lavazza came through. Lavazza is the parent company that holds Nicolas Latifi. So they give William 40, 50, 60 million dollars, and in return they give Latifi one of the seats. That's why Latifi has been in the team without a pressure. He can perform the way he wants. But this is my opinion. He can perform the way he wants and no repercussions. Same thing with Stroll. But this is another point of contention. I think we can have a discussion later about this. But in terms coming to Albon, With Albon,
Albon is a reserve driver for Red Bull.
Albon first was developed under Red Bull Junior program with Helmut Marko.
Yes.
He went to Alpha Tauri when it was Toro Rosso. He went to Red Bull. He suffered whatever problems he suffered.
Unfortunately, for those of us who watch Drive to Survive, we saw what happened with Albon. The way he was, he went all through that and he was kicked out of the team.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the clause is that for those who watch football, it's more or less like he's on loan to Williams, but not in terms of money.
Yeah.
Red Bull still owns Albon.
Yes.
But to some extent. And at the same side from Williams, there is information which Albon is allowed to some extent.
Not all the information.
You see, Mercedes is a number one rival for Red Bull.
Yeah, sure.
So if they
cannot be given everything.
If the driver is using your power unit, you see the exchange of information.
Yes.
So according to the information which is out in the public, there is clause of up to what point of information Albon can obtain in regards to him being able to drive for Williams.
So that he does not carry this information to
Red Bull. Exactly. Yes. And there are also responsibilities of how much hold and how much of a grip Red Bull has over Albon. So it's a 50-50 split of 2-1.
Now, for me to understand better, does it mean if, let's say today, Red Bull had something affecting their drivers, maybe COVID, the two drivers.
Yes.
That is Max Verstappen and Perez. They are not able to race. It is a race weekend. Can they pull Albon from Williams and tell him, you see what, you are our reserve driver, come drive for us?
At the moment, I don't know how that agreement can work, because there was rumors about that position being filled by Yuri Vips.
Yes.
But you saw what happened
Formula 2 driver?
Yes, but you saw what happened with Yuri Vips and...
Yes. I don't know, there's something he said.
You know, it is about race. We don't even want to touch
He has been cancelled, actually.
Yes, he has lost all the contracts with Red Bull from Formula 1.
I saw that last week.
Yeah.
That is very unfortunate.
But also, we have seen people coming from other teams. For example, in Sakia Grand Prix, the other year, Russell came from Williams to drive for Mercedes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We don't have full exposure of what the agreement between the two teams are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we need to go and do more research on that and see what would happen in the event that all the drivers are not capable of driving. All the drivers from Red Bull are not capable of driving. You see, they'll have less drivers, so they should just go and...
But if you don't forget, Red Bull has a big pool of junior drivers and developing drivers and Formula 2 and Formula 3.
Yeah.
So I don't think they have a problem with picking who will drive. But another thing which kind of solidifies your theory is there's rumors about Williams becoming a Red Bull powertrains customer.
Oh, right.
They are not verified, but they are rumors. Okay. So if they are customers, they can switch drivers amongst themselves, as they presume.
Now, that marks the end of our talks about Silverstone.
Yeah.
But as usual, we cannot end this talk without talking about the next race. Next race, the next few days, I think next weekend, yes?
Yeah, next coming weekend.
You said you are just within proximity from your ground. We are headed to Red Bull home.
Yeah.
So from Red Bull ground to Silverstone is just a stone throw away.
It's 30 minutes by vehicle.
Yes. So from Silverstone, Formula 1 packed their staff, headed to Austria. For the Red Bull, it's called the Red Bull what?
Red Bull Ring.
Red Bull Ring. You see, that is where all the noise is made. Leave alone
Orange Army.
Yes, the Orange Army. So, what do you take from home?
I mean, the Mercedes boys should just pack up. There's nothing they're doing.
Yes.
Let's fight with the Ferraris, and the Haas.
Yeah.
The Mercedes boys should go home. Anyway, all the jokes aside, it's a very strong track for us. Yeah. We do most of our testing there. It's developed for us.
Yeah.
It's high speed, it's banks, it's everything Max Verstappen wants.
Yeah.
It's everything Perez likes.
Yes.
So if we knock on wood, we don't have reliability issues, P1, P2.
All right. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best coming weekend.
Yeah.
So your last words, few remarks.
Few remarks.
Yes.
I would like to see more engagement with the guys watching us, both in the comments and those who follow our socials.
Yeah.
Go to the socials, challenge us, give us your opinion. We hear what you want us to talk about, what you think of the situations we have discussed. Or maybe we can invite one of you or two of you, both boys and girls, to the boosted, and then we see what goes on.
In fact, there is a lady that we should invite. There is a lady who has said she is also willing to come for the show. And soon sooner than later, we're going to have that lady over here, and she'll also give us her, her Formula One.
There's a Formula One group I am on WhatsApp.
Yes.
I don't know who the admin is, but it's Formula One group Kenya. And there's a very vocal lady there. She's called, I don't know whether she's watching. She's called Miss Kaleche.
Okay.
She's an avid Red Bull racing fan.
Yes.
If you're watching this, go to the socials there. Comment, do something. We'll bring you on board, or text me on WhatsApp.
Yeah. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. And like usual, I would say, just like Jay has said, if you love the content, if you have contention with the content that we're doing, feel free, engage us, talk to us, write a comment, ask questions, subscribe, like, share, follow, so that we can reach to as many guys out there as possible. This is one sport that we believe it is a sport that everybody should know, especially for those of us guys who love anything about cars. We should educate each other. We shall learn from you, you learn from us, and we move forward. So that has been Boosted Auto Talks, Formula One Talks.
You should tell them if they want to see more of the technical reviews, you can do technicals. Yeah, we talk about the technicality. Let them tell you about it.
Yes. Any questions that you have, you ask, and we shall just honor your questions. If you want us to do any technical review, we shall do that. As usual, this is Boosted. Boosted is your home of motorsport, and we always do our level best to ensure that we get something for you. We don't just sit there, we don't just repair cars, but we get something that will engage, us with you, our customers, us with you, our fans, us with you, our following. So as usual, like, share, subscribe. Until next week, cheers.
Orinjami.